A case study on lying. Imagine if you had no other choice but to speak only the truth for a full 24 hours. Would you believe that it would be easy or difficult? I took on this challenge, and through my experience, I found this to be quite difficult. My challenge: be completely honest for a 24-hour period. What is honesty? Honesty is the ability to not deceive someone in any way or form. A person that is honest must always speak the truth. My goal: I must complete a full day without any lies. I must entirely be honest. The start of my case began early morning. I had the responsibility to drive my younger sister to school, but I overslept. Later, my mother came back from the grocery store and asked me if I took my sister to school. I replied by saying that I overslept and did not hear her wake up, even though we shared the same room. The real truth was that I did hear her wake up, but I was too lazy to get out of bed, and figured my father would take her instead of me. It was already early morning, and I realized that I had just lied. Nevertheless, I told myself that I would ignore this slip-up and start fresh with the case study. In the afternoon, I was doing my errands when I met one of my neighbors. My neighbor made a joke, and I ended up laughing, even though I didn't think it was funny. I laughed because I knew if I did not, the situation would have been awkward. I wanted to avoid the situation. Again, I realized that I lied, and as a result, I got frustrated. I told myself once again that I would ignore this slip-up and continue with my study. Later on, I went to work in the evening and encountered my coworker. He asked if I was doing well. I replied, "Meh, I don't want to be here." Although I was able to tell the truth throughout my working hours, I knew that if my manager were to ask me how I was doing instead of my coworker, I would have definitely have lied. Overall thought on case study. Goal: I must complete a full day without any lies. I must be entirely honest. Results: I failed. Overall thought: before I started this experiment, I thought that it was going to be easy. I was completely wrong. This experiment was difficult and mentally draining. I would have to think about every little thing I would do, say, or act. In the end, I noticed that I lied mainly because I was trying to avoid or defend myself from situations. Why do humans lie? I believe humans are capable to lie for a reason. This reason dwells deep in our consciousness and goes back to our primitive years. Humans lie because it can be a defensive mechanism. Defensive mechanisms help reduce anxiety from a conflict between the individual and society. Some people may even deny or distort reality in order to protect themselves or others from conflict. Relation between my lies and defensive mechanism. First lie: I lied about oversleeping. Defensive mechanism: I did not want to be scolded at, so I made an excuse to prevent a conflict from arising. Second lie: I laughed at a joke that I did not think was funny. Defensive mechanism: I want to avoid and protect myself from an awkward situation. In the end, I noticed that I lied mainly because I was trying to avoid or defend myself from situations. Due to past experiences, I believe humans lie because of a defensive mechanism. Lying can have a strong hold over people's minds. Lying can come in many different forms, but are all forms necessarily bad? Remember, a human's brain is very complicated, and lying can be a primitive instinct for survival. I believe lying is impossible to stop completely. It is engraved in our minds. Overall, lying has a purpose just as anything in this world. The end.